What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome back to some more Bible reading. Here we go. Genesis chapter 45. We left off last time with, Joseph's brothers coming back to him because they thought they were in the wrong and had, unintentionally stolen some of the goods from him, especially his silver cup, and they were doing anything they could, especially Judah was doing anything he could to try to convince Joseph not to keep Benjamin there as a slave. Judah specifically saying, "Take me instead." But we'll see how Joseph responds to Judah's pleas here. So, chapter 45, starting with verse 1. Joseph could stand it no longer. There were many people in the room, and he said to his attendants, "Out, all of you." So he was alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Then he broke down and wept. He wept so loudly the Egyptians could hear him, and word of it quickly carried to Pharaoh's palace. Okay, so I guess at this point he's decided he's done with the act and is gonna come clean to his brothers that, all right, look, it's me, Joseph, the brother you thought you lost like forever ago. And I don't know for sure if he's gonna tell his brothers that, hey, I was just kind of messing with you guys to get back at you for what you did to me that got me here in the first place. But still, at the very least, he's going to come clean and tell them who he is. And that, maybe they don't have so much reason to worry anymore. But anyway, all right, moving on. Verse 3. "I am Joseph," he said to his brothers. "Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that Joseph was standing there in front of them. "Please come closer," he said to them. So they came closer. And he said again, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. But don't be upset, and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. This famine that has ravaged the land for 2 years will last 5 more years, and there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive and to preserve many survivors. So it was God who sent me here, not you. And he is the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh, the manager of his entire palace and the governor of all Egypt." So now Joseph is essentially not only telling them who he is, but telling them, okay, look, I realize y'all are probably worried that I'm mad at you for what you did to me, but look at the current situation and look at where I am and what I'm doing. God put me here for a reason, to help people, including yourselves. So this was all part of God's plan. This has all turned out to be a blessing in disguise, you might say. Also, it specifically mentions that the famine was going on for 2 years as of this point. So, plus the 7 years of plenty, that's 9. Add in, it's not really stated for sure how long he served under Potiphar and was in jail and all that kind of stuff. I don't think. If it is, I'm forgetting those details. But it's, yeah. It's pretty safe to say it's probably been like 10 years or more that Joseph was in Egypt before all this stuff with his brothers. So anyway, all right, moving on. Verse 9. Now hurry back to my father and tell him, this is what your son Joseph says. God has made me master over all the land of Egypt. So come down to me immediately. You can live in the region of Goshen, where you can be near me with all your children and grandchildren, your flocks and herds, and everything you own. I will take care of you there, for there are still 5 years of famine ahead of us. Otherwise, you, your household, and all your animals will starve. So, basically, Joseph wants all his family to come down close to Egypt, at least, if not within the realm of Egypt, and basically be closer to him, so they will be better taken care of, since he was able to, basically set Egypt up so well to handle the famine. So, verse 12. Then Joseph added, look, you can see for yourselves, and so can my brother Benjamin, that I am really Joseph. Go tell my father of my honored position here in Egypt. Describe for him everything you have seen, and then bring my father here quickly. Weeping with joy, he embraced Benjamin, and Benjamin did the same. Then Joseph kissed each of his brothers and wept over them. And after that, they began talking freely with him. So, again, special connection between Joseph and Benjamin, because they were full brothers, whereas the others were only like half brothers, because they had different mothers from Joseph and Benjamin. But anyway, so yeah, Joseph further reiterates to them, A, who he is, and B, that he wants them to live down around Egypt. Anyway, then we get to verse 16. The news soon reached Pharaoh's palace. Joseph's brothers have arrived. Pharaoh and his officials were all delighted to hear this. Pharaoh said to Joseph, tell your brothers, this is what you must do. Load your pack animals and hurry back to the land of Canaan. Then get your father and all your families and return here to me. I will give you the very best land in Egypt, and you will eat from the best that the land produces. So now Pharaoh has caught wind of this and is basically further encouraging Joseph's family to come down to Egypt. And I guess because of how highly he favors Joseph, he's basically going to give his family the best that Egypt has to offer. So, verse 19. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, tell your brothers, take wagons from the land of Egypt to carry your little children and your wives, and bring your father here. Don't worry about your personal belongings, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. So the sons of Jacob did as they were told. Joseph provided them with wagons as Pharaoh had commanded, and he gave them supplies for the journey. And he gave each of them new clothes, but to Benjamin he gave 5 changes of clothes and 300 pieces of silver. He also sent his father 10 male donkeys loaded with the finest products of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain and bread and other supplies he would need on his journey. So, once again, Benjamin getting a little extra, I guess just because of being Joseph's full brother. Because, I mean, it was either that or because he was the youngest. But either way, getting a little bit of special treatment there. So Pharaoh is, not only asking Joseph's brothers to, bring their families and everybody with them, but he's also giving them equipment to help them do that. Anyway, verse 24. So Joseph sent his brothers off, and as they left, he called after them, "Don't quarrel about all this along the way." And they left Egypt and returned to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. Kind of wonder why he would say, "Don't quarrel about all this along the way." Maybe the whole Benjamin getting extra stuff, or maybe regarding the land and all that they would live in Egypt. I don't know. Still, seems like a bit of an odd thing to say. Anyway, verse 26. "Joseph is still alive," they told him, "and he is governor of all the land of Egypt." Jacob was stunned at the news. He couldn't believe it. But when they repeated to Jacob everything Joseph had told them, and when he saw the wagons Joseph had sent to carry him, their father's spirits revived. Then Jacob exclaimed, "It must be true. My son Joseph is alive. I must go and see him before I die." And that ends the chapter. On a rather happy note, seemingly. I forgot to talk about footnotes as I went along the way. Where is footnote A? If I click on that, does it? Oh, okay. Verse 7. "So God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families and to preserve many survivors." Okay. I guess the "and to preserve many survivors" might have possibly meant "and to save you with an extraordinary rescue." But the meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain. Okay. Those could mean rather significantly different things, but whatever. Let's see here. Footnote B. So it's God who sent me here, not you, and he is the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh. Hebrew says a father to Pharaoh. The way we would tend to think of the word father might make sense, if Joseph was older than Pharaoh, which maybe, but seems a bit unlikely. Although, I don't know. Not every Egyptian pharaoh was known to live particularly long. So, it's not entirely out of the question. But it could be father almost more in the sense of, like, how the Catholic Church, or, I don't know, different branches of the church might use the word father as, like, a term similar to what we would call a pastor, where it's, like, chief / advisor / shepherd. Basically an important person who, gives wisdom, counsel, advice. Thus the reason why they probably chose the term advisor here for this translation. Let's see here. Footnote C. So the sons of Jacob, it just says Israel instead, because again, Jacob, Israel, interchangeable after the rename from chapters ago. And the pieces of silver were shekels, which we've had that discussion before as well. So anyway, that, I guess, will do it for this one. I don't really have too many further thoughts to add, although I will say Joseph's assessment of his own situation and sort of making the best of something seemingly bad, I think serves as an example to many different people of, being able to look back on the events of your life and realize that, there could very well be a purpose to some of the struggles, and things that seem bad may actually turn out for good in the end. So that's one of probably multiple examples throughout the Bible that kind of lead to a train of thought along those lines among Christians in particular, and probably Jews as well. But yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for this particular chapter. I don't really have any other thoughts on it, so yeah, guess that's it for now. As always, like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with others if you want them to see. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to get updates when I post new videos. Look down in the description for info on my other social media pages and how to find and follow those. And of course, leave thoughts down in the comments section with any ideas that you have or thoughts related to this video. Whatever you have for me, let me know down below. So that's going to do it. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I will see you for the next one. But until then, stay cool, people.